Hello, I am Dr. Randall Bell. Welcome back to Core IQ, where we talk about the stuff we all need to know, but we often are not taught in school. So that's why we're here at Core IQ. Learn things from experts about goal setting, time management. And I'm here with JC Cavitt, an expert in sociology, human relationships, that kind of thing. Welcome, JC.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Bell.
Absolutely. And this topic's interesting. I actually think I learned this from you. It's QTip. And I want to mention, with all these episodes, there's a handout. You designed this, is brilliant. I love it. But you can print it out in case you have trouble seeing it on the screen and really use this as a tool in learning core IQ skills. What does QTip stand for and what does it all mean?
QTip is simply an acronym that stands for Quit Taking It Personally.
And what is that? Why is that a big deal? I think I kind of know, but help us out.
Well, it's a big deal because when you're interacting with people, people seem to take things personally all the time, even when it has nothing to do with them.
So why is taking things personally a problem?
So the reason it's a problem is because usually people are triggered. When they take things personal, it's because they either heard or seen something that's rubbing up against one of their triggers, their insecurities, their fear, and they're making whatever was said or done about them.
Okay. So I noticed here in the graphic, the very first thing you have here is when you are triggered. Let's use that. Let's talk about that word trigger. What does triggered mean?
So triggered means something that just activates you, something that internally you could feel your pulse rate kind of rise, or your palms start to sweat, butterflies in your stomach.
Okay.
It's something that charges you.
So is that kind of flash of anger where you just feel like you're charged?
It could be anger, it could be fear. I could be triggered and get really afraid.
Okay. So it could be fight or flight or freeze or all kinds of things,
It could be.
Okay, so there's a trigger, and a trigger happens. I see you got two arrows. One is to explode, and the other one is QTip. Let's start with the bad example, why we want to stay away from this. Some quick examples of exploding. I think we all kind of know, but what do you have to say about that?
So with explode is when you are triggered and you hold it in, this kind of negative self-talk goes through your mind.
Yeah.
Are they talking about me? Do they think this about me? And when we stay on that kind of hamster wheel, it feeds into this negative, explosive energy.
Okay.
Okay.
And so sometimes you release it, or worse, you keep it inside and it builds up even worse. And either way, you're doing damage.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we got the bad examples, and we could go on all day about bad behavior, bad examples, and exploding in different ways. But let's focus more on the QTip side, because that's really why we're here. Quit taking it personally. And I see you got, 6 graphics here. You want to take the first one and talk about it?
Absolutely. So with QTip, when we're not taking things so personal, the very first thing I would encourage everyone to do is when you are triggered, if you have the opportunity to create space between you and the trigger, take that opportunity to create some distance.
Okay, so maybe an example. Someone is saying things that are inappropriate, and you're feeling kind of triggered or charged by it. Maybe, leave.
Great example.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, create some distance between you and whatever that is. There's some buildings, when I go to my hometown, there's some buildings, if I drive by them, I get kind of charged up because, something, negative from my childhood happened there, or something like that. Is that an example?
It is an example.
Okay.
And I would encourage someone that if spatial environments was a trigger, I would say use alternative routes.
Okay.
So that you can avoid that trigger.
Okay, so just be aware of it and create some space.
Yes.
Love it. Okay.
Sometimes you can't do that, which leads us to our next step.
Okay, so what is the next step?
The next step is ask yourself the question, is this about me?
Okay.
Because sometimes if you're with multiple people and something was said and you take it personal, well, maybe the statement that was said has absolutely nothing to do with you at all.
Right.
But it's because it triggered you. It's rubbing up close against your insecurities or fears or whatever that trigger is. That's why you're taking it personal. But if you can ask yourself, is this about me? And say, wait a minute, this has nothing to do with me, you can generally let it go.
Oh, so okay, got it. So create some space if you see something going on. And then if you're still feeling triggered, to say, kind of pause for a moment and say, is this really about me? Because it may not be about me at all.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely.
Love it. So what's the next one?
Let's say you're still not sure that maybe it's about me, maybe it's not. The next thing to do is ask for clarity. Ask a clarifying question.
Okay.
What did you mean by that?
Start kind of a dialogue and say, can you explain that more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just that simple.
Okay. And then the next one?
So one of the things is to always understand that there's a difference between impact and intent.
Okay.
So the difference there is something can be said in a room full of people, and it may have hit you a certain way because of your triggers, but it wasn't intended for you.
Right.
It wasn't intended to impact you that way.
Right.
And so if you can understand that I will hear things that will impact me, but it wasn't intended to hurt or harm me.
I mean, I hear you, because sometimes someone will say, hey, you know what, you said this and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm thinking, I had no intention. I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that. It's kind of an opportunity to kind of clear the air.
Absolutely. And it happens all the time.
Okay, love it. Okay, then the next one.
Letting go of what was said. You know, once you can get to that point to where you realize that, oh, this person said something, I was really offended by it, it impacted me a certain way, but it wasn't intended for me. Once you get to that and you realize that that person meant you no harm, let it go. Stop the negative self-talk in your head and say, okay, that's over.
Okay, and what I love about this, JC, is you've designed something here that's very deliberate and very strategic and very intelligent. Instead of taking things personally and exploding and just being reactionary in life, you're kind of taking control of your emotions, control of your life.
Absolutely.
And instead of just going off whenever you're kind of feel a little slighted, you're kind of looking at things a little more smart. I mean,
Absolutely.
I love it. Okay,
Absolutely.
And what's the last point?
Manage your self-talk. You know, I think that's something that we all battle with, regardless if we're taking things personally or not. It's the things that we tell ourselves, and sometimes you just got to hit the stop and eject button on that tape. You remember cassette tapes?
Oh,
I'm dating myself, but
I remember 8-tracks.
but we have to stop that negative talk that goes on between our ears.
Okay, so I love that concept, but can you put a little more, into that? I mean, give us some examples of some good self-talk.
So some good self-talk would be that if in a work environment, when you're doing your job well and you know that you're doing it well, let's say you're at a board meeting and the CEO is making a comment about work production, but you know that when you've done your job, when that statement is made, that comment is made, you should let it fly because it really doesn't apply to you.
Okay.
You know, and so telling yourself that I do my job and I'm good at my job is an example of positive self-talk.
Okay. JC, I got to just say thanks, because this is brilliant stuff. These are skills we all need, which is what Core Q is all about. Simple, quick, snappy, intelligent, practical strategies like this. And let's face it, we all go through life. There's moments where we get kind of charged up or triggered. And this is a smart way of just kind of handling it in a way to keep things positive, keep things productive.
Absolutely.
So thanks for being here.
Thanks for
watching. And make sure you like it, share it, talk about it, and use the handouts, and we'll see you next time.